Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So one of my viewers asked me about magnetrons and if they were worth taking apart for the copper inside. And my answer is yes. So what I have behind me is actually a collection of magnetron cores I've been saving up. Magnetrons come out of microwaves. Microwaves are one of the most common items I find on scrap day. They are a great source of scrappable material, a lot of tin shred. There's always a transformer inside of them, a motor, copper motor from the fan, some copper from the circuit board, as well as copper from the rotating plate. However, sometimes your transformer copper wires are not copper. Sometimes they are aluminum, look to be like copper, so you do have to scratch them. The magnetrons, however, are always going to have a great chunk of copper inside of them. And as I said, they are very easy to take apart. So what I want to do today is I'm going to quickly take one apart. I have already cut open 14 of these cores, and I'm going to weigh the copper from those after to show you how much money you can get from them and hopefully help you save time, energy, and do it safely and effectively to maximize your profit. So here we go. The first thing, magnetrons can be dangerous. I have seen people online talk about not touching them. These, yes, do have a potential to give people what we call beryliosis, and that is because the ceramic on the top and inside on the bottom, these cores, do have some beryllium inside of them, but it is only harmful if that ceramic is crushed or damaged. So these are safe as is if I touch them because they have not been damaged. These do also have, you can see, a nice ring. This is actually brass. Sorry, Dad, that's not gold. These will come off of them. And this right here, as is, will go for yellow brass, which is going for $3.85 a pound. I just store these up again, and I will make sure I bring them in with my brass. But this, as I said, is not harmful. The first thing I do need to do, this does have a steel case around it. There is a cap that you see here that is always crimped on. And inside of this, you will have 2 coils of copper as well. That this copper also will go into my number 2 copper once I take it out of this magnetic pin. And number 2 copper right now is going for about $4.45 Canadian a pound, which is great. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in my vise, and I've got to open the top off of here because I need to get inside. These fins that you see here are going to be clean aluminum, so I do need to take those out. As well, there are 2 magnets inside of them. As you can see, I store these magnets up. I have a whole bunch of them. I've given some to my teacher friends at school. I've sold some of them. I've used some of them for magnet fishing. They are very powerful, so definitely worth keeping. But here we go with this. Just gonna put it into my, I'm gonna go this way with it just to make it easier. I have raised my bench for some of my viewers who have said to me, raise your bench for your back. So it is raised. I might have to raise it a little bit more, but it's good for now. So just gonna open this up. I'm gonna put a pry bar inside, and I'm just gonna open it. Just gonna pop the tap off here. There you go. So this tab is going to be steel. As you can see, I put a magnet to it. This is gonna go in my tin shred pile, and this is going for about 10 to 13 cents a pound. There is gonna be a pin holding this magnet. So this is also a nice piece of tin. Very nice, powerful magnet. Word of caution to some of my students who have taken these. Please be careful when you put 2 magnets together because they can give you quite a pinch. But really nice magnet here. And now I want to open this up a little bit. Just gonna kind of open it, the flaps. And what I'm gonna do is actually, for the sake of this, I'm just actually gonna pull this up just so it's out, released. I don't start playing with the ceramic, but there is my ceramic on both sides. Sometimes you'll see them in pink, sometimes white. Again, safe to touch because it's not damaged. But for added safety, what I like to do is I will put a ring of tape around it just as an extra precaution. Some people don't do that, but better safe than sorry. Your health is way more important than any scrap. So I'm gonna do that first. Just take a piece of tape, and that's, again, if I damage it somehow, it's not going to release it or you know, linger around in my shed here. Okay, so there we go. Just put that around. There we go. So safer for the touch. Okay, now what I want to do is I need to spread these fins out. This is, as I said, going to be aluminum. This aluminum right now is going for, it's clean aluminum, so 50 cents a pound, around that. This is light, but it all adds up. Okay, I've seen some people just take a grinder, but again, you don't need a grinder to do it. It's very simple. Just opening up these flaps. I will sometimes just kind of break them open, shake them a little bit. I can go both ends. But again, nice bit of clean aluminum. All prices right now are all staying high, which is awesome as a scrapper. You know, so you definitely want to get as much scrap as you can. This just, because I said, I can see it sliding off. There's another one. Stay in the camera here. Okay, just gonna use a fin as well. I can speed it up. Like I said, I'm just gonna cut it. There you go, I can do that too. Aluminum is very light, very easy to cut through with a pair of side cutters or tin snips, whatever fancy or whatever tool you have in your arsenal, I guess. And I could also, as I said, I'm gonna go from the bottom for this, the next one here. But there it is, there's another one, and I'll take this one off. There it is, there. So, here is my core. This will just go into my aluminum pile. You can imagine, obviously, with 15 magnetrons here, there is a nice score of aluminum as well as some tin. But this is my inner core. And what happens is these cores have two caps on them. The top cap, you'll have it through here. There'll be a feed of copper winding that goes up through the top. There'll be as well the connecting cap on the bottom. But when you open them up, as you can see, some beautiful copper inside of them. Some of them do come, as you can see, with a coating on it. Some of them will come with the clean look like this. But very, very beautiful piece of copper. And all I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to take this out. Here is my other magnet. I want to get this box out of here. Squeeze this under here, and I will do this later. But pulling this copper out, I'm going to definitely take this as well. Okay, but again, some really nice copper spool there. This piece is aluminum as well, so you want to save that. The rest of this box, I can just hit this with a hammer and cut this from the other side. There is no ceramic capacitor or anything ceramic in there anymore, so it's not harmful anymore. But again, the rest of this box, once I take the copper out and the magnet, will go tin shred. All I'm going to do to open these up is I'm going to take a grinder. Some of them, you can see, have grooves on them. I can actually just follow along this groove. And that's because if I put a magnet to this, I cannot bring this in as clean aluminum. So it is magnetic, and that's because there is a piece of steel that connects it. So these caps do have steel on them. So I want to make sure that I cut around, usually at the groove, to take that steel off. And what I like to do is there are two sides to these cores. The longer one has a little bit of metal, and I will actually just take a pair of pliers, and I will actually put the pliers, connect it to that. I will not connect it to the ceramic, okay? So I'm not connecting it to the ceramic, so I'm not damaging it. But for me, it's just easier to hold it. I have seen some people put it into a vise. That will work too, okay? But I also want to make sure when I'm doing this with a grinder, I have safety glasses on. And you also want to have a pair of gloves. once I grind this, these are warm. So you definitely want to make sure you have gloves on so you don't burn yourself. Okay, so just gonna set this up, show you how to do it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm gonna just, like I said, just gonna grind down this. So the spark did not obviously come from the copper. I have now, like I said, I have not disturbed the beryllium, which is great. And I could just actually, it is hot, as I said. There's a small piece that's connected. And the reason I go slow is because I want to make sure that I get as close to this copper as I can. Just wanted to make it a little bit easier. There you can see the pin is connected in there. So all I'm going to do now, like I said, with gloves on, obviously, just going to just finish off my little snip. There is a little pin. And again, I want to get as much of that copper off as I can. And I actually, as I said, can feel the heat coming through the glove here. Okay, so there is obviously the steel, little bit of copper. I'm not worried about this. Okay, I have my cores here, and what I will do as well, I'm not going to do these two cores, but very easy. As you can see on the side here, there is going to be, especially when you use a grinder, there is going to be some copper dust. I always will clean off my table. As you can see, this is going to be copper dust mixed with a little bit of stuff, but I will throw this copper dust into my number 2 bin. Like I said, it's not much, but it's definitely better than going into the garbage. Like I said, I've seen some people, especially that have a crucible, they will take all that stuff and they will just remelt it. That is not one of my items now, but hopefully eventually once I get my crucible, I will start doing that. Now that I have these pieces, I definitely don't want to pose a health threat to the scrapyard, gentlemen. Even though these are magnetic, these will go into my tin shred. But what I will do is I actually keep these in a bag. I will bring them to the scrapyard. I will give them to the guys in the bag, and I will tell them that these are the magnetron cores. So a lot of times I think they will just actually just throw it right into the tin shred, but definitely want to give it to them safely. Okay, but these will also go into my tin shred pile. Okay, and now, moment of truth. As I said, now I have my cores, I have my magnet here. Just gonna turn on my scale. All right, gave that one a chance to cool down, but here we go. So this just on its own is about 2 ounces. So I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cores. I actually have 2 pounds exactly. 2.0000. So 15 of these, 2 pounds. These will actually go into my number 2 bin as is because of the coating on it, because inside there is a little bit of coating around the ring of it. Again, I've seen some people melt these down and make them into ingots, but as is, these are going to go, even this one without the coating on it, there is some discoloration inside of that because there is a coating on the copper in there. But this is entirely copper. As I said, number 2 copper right now is going for $4.45 a pound. So I have got about $9 right there. I've got some tin shred from this. It only took me one grinding disc, so about 10 cents or 15 cents there worth of waste or cost. Definitely, as I said, I've also got the pieces that come out of the inside. A lot of magnets, a lot of tin shred that come out of it, some aluminum, as I said, so definitely worth it. Very easy to do. Hope you enjoyed that video. Hope that answered that question. Yes, like I said, microwaves are one of the most common items I find, so definitely worth the copper and the time to get that out, especially with the price of copper the way it is, and it continues to go up. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.